Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, moviepilot.com, or YouTube itself. What up, world? So I just saw Ghostbusters, the reboot of the insanely popular 80s series of movies. Ghostbusters 2, spawned off a couple animated series. I rocked with the real Ghostbusters myself. This movie stars Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, Leslie Jones, Chris Hemsworth, Andy Garcia, Michael K. Williams, Cicely Strong, Matt Walsh, and it is directed by Paul Feig, who's done Bridesmaids, The Heat, and Spy. And of course, as always, if you're trying to get a shout out in my review next week for either Star Trek or Ice Age, stay tuned to the end of the video to figure out how you can do that. So, it's, for all intensive purposes, present day New York City. You got Kristen Wiig, who is a scientist, trying to get, trying to get tenure at her school. Melissa McCarthy is at another facility and she's studying the paranormal, ghost, whatever, spirits, hauntings, whatever. Kate McKinnon is with her. Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy have parted ways. They've lost touch to an extent. So something brings them back together and they discover, ghost sightings. They investigate them. Chris Hemsworth and Leslie Jones, they both get brought into the mix, and then they basically have to save the world from, ghosts taking over. And this is an origin story, man. This is the formation of the Ghostbusters. I know the first trailer that everybody was hating on was misleading, and 30 years ago, and this and this, and they made it sound like it's going to be connected to the original series. It's not. This is a new beginning for a new quartet of Ghostbusters. I mean, as far as casting, man, I feel this cast is extremely solid. All four of these ladies are hilarious. Chris Hemsworth is hilarious, man. If you slept on Vacation that came out last summer, it's not the best movie. A lot of people shit on it. It's serviceable. I laughed. Chris Hemsworth was the standout in that movie. Chris Hemsworth isn't necessarily the standout because there's so many comedic voices in this movie, but when Chris Hemsworth is in this movie, he's hysterical. And we know Kristen Wiig is funny. We know Melissa McCarthy is funny. I'm not going to talk about them too much. Kate McKinnon killed that shit. She was like the Egon of the group, if you will. She was the more scientific one, creating all the new gadgets and weapons and whatever. She comes up with the new weapons and stuff, and then she had like the pistols, the proton pack pistols that she licked the barrel, and then she went to work, and then she's one of the more memorable characters. And then Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones was hysterical too. And when she slapped the shit out of Melissa McCarthy, talking about the power of Patty compels you. She was cool. I really liked her character because for people like me who don't understand the science and the terminology, that's who she was. She was the common person's eyes into what was going on with all the big words they were using. And I mean, almost you could say like everybody had their time to shine, and everybody was a scene stealer. I mean, I don't know. You can't steal a scene when everybody's killing it. I think it was hilarious more based on like reactionary comedy and timing because there was some funny dialogue. I laughed at some jokes, but I felt like a lot of it fell apart and it was weak based on the script. I felt like the script was weak. The story was good, and I'm always invested in story. Unless I absolutely hate the movie. I feel like Bridesmaids was rated R, The Heat was rated R, Spy was rated R. I felt like the only fault I found in this movie is that with Paul Feig helping write it, he hasn't written for PG-13, so I don't feel like he is able to blossom as a script writer because he couldn't make the R-rated comedies he's used to doing. And I felt like being PG-13 held it back. Being directed by Paul Feig and being PG-13 held the movie back some. I would love, whenever this comes on Blu-ray, man, October, November, December, if we got an R-rated director's cut, And I guarantee, like, as far as script and dialogue, it'd be a million times more hilarious than it already is. I mean, as far as villain, they're like, there isn't a Zool or there isn't a creepy dude in the painting. It's a character with an agenda, and it worked for the movie, man. It's serviceable for the movie. Because, for lack of a better term, this is Batman Begins for the Ghostbusters. For everybody crying. For everybody, oh, Ghostbusters looks like shit. Where's my Bill Murray? Where's my Dan Aykroyd? Where's my Ivan Reitman? Everybody that you talking about, everybody that knocked the trailers and the casting, and everybody that hated on this movie and was determined to shit on it and go on IMDb to like a week before they seen it and give it a 0 out of 0 without even seeing the movie first. Everybody that you loved from the original series has something to do with this movie in some capacity. This movie has the cosign of everybody that created Ghostbusters. So see the movie, then determine whether you like it or not. If you sitting there all pouting and pissed off and this isn't what I grew up with, so I'm not gonna like it. See, I feel like I'm turning into that because the new Power Rangers aren't the Power Rangers I grew up with. Reimagining whatever. I'm trying not to hate, but it's not my Power Rangers, so I'm not gonna completely flush it down the toilet until I see the movie in March. And then the new Pennywise. It's not the Pennywise that scared the shit out of me when I was 4 years old, but I'm gonna reserve judgment until I see a trailer or until I see the movie in full. Even after a trailer, I'm probably gonna be like creeped out, you know what I'm saying? Because it's still Pennywise, still crazy ass clown and shit. But after that movie come out, I'm gonna review it for y'all like I always do, and then I'm gonna give y'all my assessment. I did not hate this movie. I love the original series. Ghostbusters is hands down the classic. Ghostbusters 2 is cool. This is a good movie. Like, give it a shot. Go in open-minded. This is a good movie. It's funny, and the ghosts look cool. This movie deserved a reboot in general, just for the effects. I was watching the first movie the other day. Those effects are shoddy, and it's 1984, so upgraded effects makes this movie look that much cooler. Some of the ghosts look a little cartoony. Oh well, it still look better than it did 32 years ago. If you thinking that you just going, okay, there's the credits, let me beat the traffic and get out to my car. If you do that, you're gonna miss the post-credit scene because there is a scene at the very end of the movie. So don't leave. And see, while I don't think this movie is great, I think it's a solid foundation for a really dope franchise. I hope it makes a lot of money opening weekend so a series can be greenlit, whether it's Ghostbusters 2 or some type of spinoff, because when this movie was announced, I had heard that they wanted to do like, okay, there's another location, like there's another precinct of Ghostbusters, and I heard it was going to be Channing Tatum and Chris Pratt. While it don't necessarily have to be those two dudes, it would be cool to see a spinoff of the females in this movie inspired other people to bust ghosts. That would be cool in addition to getting a Ghostbusters 2 of this cast. I would love that shit. A whole Ghostbusters world. And Dan Aykroyd been grinding hardcore for at least 15 years to try to get a Ghostbusters 3, and this is as good as anything that I could have imagined. I mean, with all that being said, man, in my opinion, Ghostbusters is dope. Don't be one of those, you ruined my childhood. And go see it, give it a shot. And I mean, like I said, aside from being held back by its rating and Paul Feig not doing PG-13 in the past, it's a good movie. It's a really enjoyable movie. So, have you seen Ghostbusters? Rank it among all three movies. Did it exceed expectations? Was you disappointed? How did you feel about the Ghostbusters reboot? If you want that shout out, I ask this type of question pretty much every week. Guess within plus or minus $2 million, be the closest. How much do you predict Ghostbusters will make opening weekend? Because of fan criticism and backlash, it could do between 30 and 40 million or lower. Or due to curiosity and hardcore fans, it could make between 70 and 80. Or anywhere in the middle, man. The spectrum is wide open. Like I always say, man, tap me in your ticket stubs, man. No matter what you watching. Ghostbusters, Secret Life of Pets, Mike and Dave, Tarzan, whatever. Whether you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, man, tag me in your ticket stubs, man. I am curious to know what everybody's going to see. All those movies I just rattled off, man, I have posted reviews for all of those. The Purge, The Shallows, Independence Day. Most recent releases I've posted reviews for. Please check those out. Movie talk video that I did last month on sequels. Next week I want to see Star Trek Beyond. And then I'm going to do a movie talk a little while after that on Zoe Saldana. I want to see Ice Age, Collision Course. And then the week after that, I want to see Bad Moms and Jason Bourne. Like, subscribe, comment, find me where you find me, man. Peace.